Happy New Year! What's good, Enterprisers? It's Jason Lago here again with Always Enterprise, and in this video I want to share with you how to avoid the hidden traps of New Year's resolutions. How to avoid the hidden traps that surround New Year's resolutions. Now, obviously, based on introduction, you probably guessed and surmised correctly that yes, this is the week of the New Year's celebration, the New Year's holiday, with Christmas, of course, being last week, and now, of course, this is the week where both New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is going to take place here in just a few days at the end of this week. It's early on in the week, so there's still plenty of time to get some good work done, and obviously get some good videos available to you right here, right now, and hopefully the content that you find in here is appropriate, is also helpful to you. I want to share with you just a few things that I think will be helpful to you with regards to your goal setting as you approach the new year. Now, a lot of people use the term New Year's resolutions. And I certainly use that term. I don't hate it in any particular way, but I'm not exactly the biggest fan of it either. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love the holiday season, as you well know. New Year's is no different. I absolutely love New Year's for what it stands for the holiday. The idea of turning a fresh new page and getting a fresh start is absolutely necessary, especially if you're watching this video during this current real time. You know, the year of 2020 has been just quite a doozy for all of us. So all of us are looking forward to turning the page and, like I said, getting a fresh start. However, the terminology New Year's resolution is not exactly the one that I'm the craziest about, for good reason. Most people adopt the practice of setting a New Year's resolution, and it's just something that rubs me the wrong way for most people with the way that most people treat it, because again, it seems like it only really shows a level of commitment and a level of discipline and a level of goal setting and ambition for one time per year. And that's really it. It's just a small season, if you even want to call it that. A lot of the times it really just lasts a few days up to maybe a couple weeks and people fizzle out. And I think that there's reasons why this happens. And so with regards to that, I want to offer you just a few things maybe you haven't realized, that these things could be pitfalls and traps when it comes to setting these amazing goals that you want to set for yourself, again, as you come into the new year. And in so doing, I hope that, again, that they are helpful to you and help you get a better start in your 2021, or any new year for that matter. Let's get started. Number one, the trap of waiting till New Year. The trap of waiting till New Year. That's right. I said, why wait is basically the point that I'm trying to make here. A lot of the times people make this New Year's resolution, this New Year's goal, and it's going to be this huge ambition for them heading into the new year, but they often wait until New Year, and many times a few days after New Year, before they actually establish what that is and start their path on the road to overcoming and achieving whatever these goals are. And oftentimes they're usually just one particular goal. I would caution you against this. I would really caution you to not wait until New Year to begin doing things and planning things that are going to comprise your New Year's resolution. So for instance, what are some things that you can not wait till New Year's to do? Obviously, the first thing that you can do is not wait until New Year's to have resolve. The whole purpose of the New Year's resolution implies a strong determination or resolve in order to see this matter through. Decide here and now, ahead of a New Year's Day, ahead of the holiday, that you are going to see it through, that you are going to have strong determination. Putting yourself in the right mindset before the actual holiday and it's time to actually put into play and act like it's game time is going to go a whole lot farther for you to make sure that you are in the proper mindset, that rather than swinging into the new holiday thinking, okay, it's time to get started. We all knew as a kid, when it came to competitions and races, we all wanted the head start. We all coveted and envied the person who had the head start. Where did we lose that in terms of growing up, right? As grown-ups now, it kind of seems like we don't really care about that so much. Whereas when we were kids, we wanted to give ourselves every little advantage to be the person who had the head start, because we knew that every single advantage, like a head start, would really help us overall in becoming the winner, in winning the race, winning the championship. Why not carry that over into your adulthood, no matter what your New Year's resolution or goals are? Whether it's weight loss, finance, your health, your wealth, your happiness, get started now. Don't wait until New Year's to have resolve. Don't wait until New Year's to clearly define your goals. Don't wait until the new year to start taking action on the things that you know will move you towards and move you closer your actual goal. Don't wait until New Year. Number two, the trap of setting impractical goals. the trap of setting impractical goals. Now, mind you, I didn't say impossible, I said impractical. I'm never going to be the person who tells you that that's impossible and that you shouldn't shoot for high goals. I think you absolutely should. I also think, however, that it's really smart and just makes sense for you to set goals that are practical and relative to where you are, as opposed to these big astronomical goals that just are not really attainable in the scope of reality and in the scope of common logic. So for instance, a lot of people say that they want to make $1 million. Now, I am for you making $1 million, but how does that compare to where you're at right now? To give yourself some context, if you're not in a place where you're even close to making $1 million, does it really make sense for you to make this astronomical goal, this insurmountable goal of reaching the $1 million mark? Right? So for instance, one of the things that I'm helping a lot of my coaching students and clients to do right now in the world of internet entrepreneurship and internet business is I want to help them grow their business. And a lot of people say that they want to hit this $1 million mark, or they want to make 6 figures, or they want to make whatever landmark number that they want to make. And oftentimes I ask them, okay, well, how much money have you made so far? You know, where are you at right now? And if you have only made a few online commissions or a few notifications of commission payments online, then what makes you think realistically that you can hit $1 million, right? Again, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not practical to where you're at. I think that if you are not, setting goals properly, and you're not doing them in a way that makes sense for you, you're really setting yourself up for success. Because what a lot of people do is, again, they'll set this big, lofty goal that is so big and it's very impressive, but it's so hard to attain because of the size of it, the magnitude of it, that when they finally realize that they're falling short, and when they finally realize, which oftentimes doesn't take long, that they're not going to hit this goal in this year span time that they gave themselves, what do? They fail, they quit, and they consider themselves complete and utter failures. It's an easy way to get disappointed and an easy way to get morally destroyed. And so I would really caution you against this. Rather than do that, rather than set one big lofty goal, I encourage you to set several goals, several types of goals. Sure, go ahead and create that big goal that you want for the year, but then break that large goal down into smaller goals. So for instance, if you wanted to make a certain income level in a year's time, break it down to how much you would need to make per month and then per week. That ultimately will add up to this total goal. The other thing that you want to go ahead and do is set different types of goals for yourself in terms of not only the end result, but also the actions that it takes to get there. So for instance, if you want to go ahead and lose 50 pounds, break it down to the habits and the behaviors that you need to do in order to get there. For instance, in this case of losing 50 pounds, maybe you know that you need to drink so much amount of water, eat so many amount of calories, whether it's in excess or a shortage of. Maybe you know that you need to go ahead and have certain behaviors every single day with regards to when you eat and when you don't eat, and consider those items as action-based goals that you can also keep track of and keep score of, all right? If you're not taking certain actions and performing certain behaviors, then you'll never get the desired result, no matter what that number or outcome is. So hopefully that helps you, make sense and is helpful to you with regards to the different goals that you should set. But again, keep it practical, keep it very real, and don't set goals so high and so lofty and only one type of goal, so that if you fail, you don't have the chance to celebrate wins or enjoy any time on the scoreboard. Number 3, and finally, the trap of not keeping score. The trap of not keeping score. Now, I kind of alluded to this in the last point, but it's also important, especially when you consider the New Year's resolution in the context of this big overarching goal that you want to give yourself for 1 year's time. You have to be able to keep score, right? In any sport that you want to play, there is always a scoreboard, right? So you need to keep track of your efforts and consider how close you are or how far off you are from hitting your goal. Again, if you take my advice from the last point and break down this big goal into a smaller bite-sized goals, it's easier to do. But the importance of keeping score is very paramount to the point where, just consider this. If you don't keep score of the game, you're not taking the game seriously. I don't think there's an athlete on this planet who their coach doesn't keep track of their statistics. How many times they scored, how many attempts that they made. Well, it's no different in your goal setting. And again, this applies to your business, your weight loss, your personal happiness. Give yourself landmarks and measurements by which you can keep track. As I said in business, if you're not tracking, you're lacking. So please keep score, keep track of what you're doing. The other thing that keeping track it really allows you to do is it allows you to give yourself constructive criticism when you don't hit the goals, when you fall short a little bit, and allow yourself the opportunity to really find some self-discovery and make adjustments and tweaks in order to get to those improvements. But it also allows you the opportunity to celebrate small wins in the meantime, right? On your way to hitting this big goal, you got to have these small bite-sized victories in the meantime, and that's going to help you stay encouraged, stay positive, and give you the energy and the boost that you need to continue to move forward so that you can absolutely crush this New Year's resolution. And obviously that's what you want to do. There you have it, my friends. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Listen, I want to wish you a very, very happy new year. And I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart and from everyone here at Always Enterprise HQ. Listen, it's been a rough year, but it's been a good year. It certainly has for us over here. This year has not come without tragedy for me personally, and it hasn't come without challenges, as I know that that's been the case for you. But in spite of all that, it's still been a good year. And I don't know about you, but I am absolutely excited, looking forward to this next new year. And I want to wish you a very happy new year. I wish you nothing but peace and blessings, happiness, health, wealth, prosperity, and everything under the sun else that makes you happy, as long as it's good and righteous. All right. So listen, thank you again for rolling with us. I appreciate your subscribership and your following. Please continue to like, comment, share, but most importantly, you know the deal. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. And you know I've got a ton of it coming here heading into this next year. That's it, my friends. Until next year, take care. Always Enterprise.